Hi guys, in this video I just wanted to share some tips on what you can do to stay in a place of faith and inner knowing in the midst of having an emotional reaction to the things that seem to be happening in your outer world. So, for starters, over this past year, I have been going through a big transformation in my life. However, over these past 2 months, these have been the most challenging months for me because I'm in the process of just really shedding more parts of my old self. And I've also been called to fully trust in the universe and also just to really remember who I am at the core. So the reason why I wanted to speak on this briefly is because earlier today I was in a really emotional state of being. Now, prior to today, I was actually doing really good. I had gotten myself to a place where I was no longer reactive to all of the things that were appearing in my reality. I got into more of a neutral space, and also it was easy for me to just remind myself that things are always working out for me. However, some things had occurred which caused me to go into an emotional space because I felt like it was just something else adding on to the things that were already transpiring. Long story short, it seems as if everything in my outer world, not everything, but a lot of things in my outer world have been crumbling around me. And it's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing because that means that my soul is ready to release the old that is no longer serving me so that something new and beautiful can be born from that. And within that process, it can be very uncomfortable, which it has been. However, I'm pushing through and I'm getting through it. So when I found myself in that space of having an emotional reaction to the thing that was going on, in that process, I decided to ask myself, and it happened randomly because I've actually never done this before. I always have internal dialogue with myself often. However, this time, when I was in the midst of having that emotional reaction, I asked myself, okay, but what does the God within me say? And as soon as I asked that question, it was just this ongoing answer or response to what the God in me said. All of the answers that I was receiving, it was consistently things that I know at the core of my being to be true. And it was everything that had to do with all is well and things are always working out for me. It was more specific than that, but I don't need to go into detail. But I encourage you that if you happen to find yourself in a space of feeling emotional or reactive to your outer world, try and have that inner dialogue with yourself and ask, well, what does the God in me say? Or what does the source in me say? Whatever term you prefer to use, it really doesn't matter. But I found that causes you to really connect with the light or the source or the God within you. And it allows you to just really remind yourself and remember who you are at the core. We are all extensions of source, which means we have source within us, and we also have the same powers that source has because we have source within us. And also, things are always working out for us. Like, abundance is our true nature. The only time that we are in a state of lack is when we are forgetting who we are and we're believing a story that is not true. And also when we are allowing ourselves to be consumed with fear, doubt, and worry. So one of the things that I've also used throughout my journey has been, this was a quote I heard from Abraham Hicks a long time ago, and it was actually an affirmation. And it's basically saying, life is always getting better for me and things are always working out for me. Now, in the times when I typically use that is, I mainly use it when I find myself in a space of like something that appears to be negative is happening, and I'm using that affirmation to keep myself from spiraling into a lower vibrational state of fear and worry. And that has always helped me to change the trajectory of whatever was happening in that moment. And also, there's times where nothing is really happening, but I'm just repeating that affirmation to remind myself that things are always working out for me. And that has always been helpful. But I challenge you to just try that out, either or do both. When you find yourself in those spaces of maybe something that seems to be negative is happening, or maybe you are in a reactive state of being, or you're feeling emotional about what might be transpiring in your life at the moment, just keep in mind that things are always happening for your highest good, even if it seems to be negative. And also keep in mind, this is also something that I remember from Abraham Hicks that I heard a long time ago, that everything that you're experiencing in your reality right now is old news. It is simply a response or a mirroring of your vibration that you were previously giving off. And for me, I had to acknowledge and accept too that these things, I'm seeing these things show up right now, and they are 100% a result of the vibration that I was giving off for months ahead of time. And in those moments when I was giving off that vibration, I sensed it and I knew it, but it was just challenging for me to get out of that state of being, because I was someone who previously, for most of my life, I was always trying to control outcomes. And although I've manifested a lot of big things throughout my life, I still had this sense of wanting to be in control because it made me feel more safe whenever I could be in control. But I am being shown now that that's something that I have to let go. It's not my job to try and be in control. And when you're trying to be in control, you are causing so much resistance in the flow of energy that you are literally keeping things that are for you. You're keeping those things from coming to you with ease. So one thing that I've also been doing is I have been listening. I found this girl on YouTube about a month ago, and I've been listening to one of her videos every day. And it's always a different video, but I've been listening to her videos every day because she does such a great job at just reminding you to focus on the I am, the God within you. And her name is XO Autumn, I believe. I'm going to go ahead and put her channel in the description box below, just in case you are interested in tuning into some of her videos, which are extremely helpful. I want to send a special thank you to Autumn because she has helped me a lot with just remembering to not be so attached and reactive to the 3D what's showing up in the 3D reality. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you all have a beautiful day.